you on this day. Had this been any other individual, the first thing that he would have done is exacted revenge. Heads would have rolled. He would have killed people on that day. There would have been much bloodshed. So the people responded and they said, we think that you will only do good to us. You are a kind brother, the son of our kind brother. Akhun kareem wabnu akhin kareem. And so the Prophet ﷺ replied to these people who are his arch enemy, the ones who tried to destroy him and his religion. He replied by saying, ﷺ, indeed I say to you, just as my brother Yusuf ﷺ said, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. There will be no revenge exacted upon you today. We will seek no revenge against any of you today. Rather, I ask that Allah forgives you, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Subhanallah. These were the people that tried to harm him and kill him. Yet on that day, not only does he not take that revenge that he has the right to take, not only does he pardon them, but he does good towards them, and he frees them. And he says, اذهبوا فأنتم الطلقاء. Go, for each and every single one of you is free on this day. None of you will be taken as prisoners. And not only did the Prophet ﷺ stop there, but then you have the likes of Abu Sufyan, the leader of Quraysh, the one who was one of the arch enemies of the Prophet ﷺ, going personally to the Prophet ﷺ, asking him to pardon him. This is his arch enemy, the leader of the people of Mecca. And the Prophet ﷺ forgives him and he pardons him on that day. Not only does he forgive him, but he forgives his wife Hind bint Utbah. And Hind was the woman who ordered the assassination of his uncle Hamza radiallahu anhu. She was the one who ordered that he be killed. And she was the one who disemboweled his body. And she was the one who chewed upon his liver and then spat it out. She was the one who defiled his body. Yet on that day the Prophet ﷺ, even though he had such love for his uncle Hamza radiallahu anhu, even though he had this strong bond and connection with him, he forgave him. And not only that, but the Prophet ﷺ also forgave Al-Wahshi, the one who actually threw the spear through Hamza radiallahu anhu, the person who actually killed him by his own hand. Yet the Prophet ﷺ also forgave him on this day. This beautiful aspect of the Prophet ﷺ in his life, you will find that there is also something which the companions radiallahu anhum would do. They learned this from the Prophet ﷺ, just as me and you need to learn this from the Prophet ﷺ. During the slander of Aisha, that incident when the people slandered Aisha, from amongst those people who slandered her was a man by the name of Mistah. And Mistah was one of the relatives of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, the father of Aisha. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was a man who had wealth. And he would often give him wealth, financial aid and help and support, because he was from his relatives. And so that man became embroiled in the slandering affair. He was one of those people who spread the rumors. So when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu heard of this, he said, by Allah, I will never give him anything again. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verse in the Quran, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Let them pardon, let them be gracious in overlooking the errors of others. Do you not love that Allah should forgive you in turn? And so when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu heard this, he said, by Allah, I wish that Allah will also forgive me. So he forgave him and he continued to give him money. You have the likes of Umar radiallahu anhu, who during his khilafah a man came to him and he said to him, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, O leader of the believers, you are a man who takes the wealth for himself and you are a man who is unjust amongst the people. And so Umar radiallahu anhu became angry at this, that he was making false accusations against him. And so one of the people, seeing the anger of Umar, he recited the verse of the Quran, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Pardon those who wrong you, and order the good, and turn away from those who are ignorant. And so Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says that when Umar radiallahu anhu heard this verse, he stopped. وَكَانَ وَقَّافًا عِنْدَ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. And he was a man who would hold himself to the book of Allah. when you would hear a verse pardoning nature. This is something which we as Muslims also need to learn. And it is something which we need to implement in our lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders this in the Quran. And He says, وَجَزَاءُ سَيِّئَةٍ سَيِّئَةٌ مِثْلُهَا فَمَنْ عَفَى وَأَصْلَحَ فَأَجْرُهُ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Indeed, the reward of an evil is evil in return. But whosoever pardons and does good, then their reward is with Allah. Meaning sometimes you even have the right to take revenge. When someone harms you, it is from your right that you have justice. For what is better in the sight of Allah is that you forgive and pardon these people for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why Anas radiallahu anhu would say that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was never brought with a dispute in which there was a punishment for one party or another, except that he encouraged those people that they should pardon and forgive one another. This was the way that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was. And this is why Umar radiallahu anhu, when he was a judge for Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he would say that this is an amazing community that we have, referring to the companions. Indeed, I have been a judge for a year, and no single two people have come to me with a dispute. No one has come with a grievance against another Muslim. For a whole year, not a single case is presented to him as a judge. He says, because each and every single one of them knows the rights that they have upon others, and they know the rights that others have upon them. So they stop and maintain these rights. They live within these boundaries, and they forgive and pardon one another. And this is why Anas radiallahu anhu would say, after having been the servant of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for 10 years, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never a single time did he rebuke me. Never a single time did he say to me, why did you do this? Or why didn't you do this? Or I ordered you to do this and you didn't do it. But the Prophet ﷺ was patient with him. And so we learn from this that we also need to enact this aspect of the life of the Prophet ﷺ. We need to adopt this characteristic in our lives, with our children, with our families, with our wives and spouses, with the general Muslim community and the wider community. This is something which we as Muslims should be at the forefront of doing, forgiving and pardoning others and doing good to them in return. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, describing the believers in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ يَجْتَنِبُونَ كَبَائِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَالْفَوَاحِشِ وَإِذَا مَا غَضِبُوا هُمْ يَغْفِرُونَ. They are those who refrain and stay away from every evil and sin. And when they become angry, they are those who are the first to forgive. They are those who are the first to forgive. And just as we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us on Yawm al-Qiyamah, on the day of judgment, that day where the prophets of Allah themselves, who are the most noblest of creation, they will say, indeed our Lord on this day has become so angry. He has never been so angry ever before, and He will never be this angry ever again. On that day we hope for the forgiveness of Allah, that Allah will pardon us and show us mercy. Then it is only right that we too should pardon and forgive others. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ said, I swear by Allah, by the one whose hand my soul is in, that a person does not continue to forgive and pardon another person, except that in the sight of Allah He will raise in station and honor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to adopt this trait and characteristic of the Prophet ﷺ and to practically implement this in our lives. ثم اعلموا أن الله أمركم بأمر بدأ فيه بنفسه وثنى فيه بملائكته المسبحة بقدسه وإنها بكم أيها المؤمنون من جنه وإنسه فقال قولا كريما إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وزد وأنعم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد وارض اللهم عن الخلفاء الراشدين الأئمة المهديين أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن سائر الصحابة أجمعين والتابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وعنا معهم بجودك وكرمك يا أكرم الأكرمين اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.